Hello, everybody. Welcome to Seoul for the ISU Short Track World Cup, the fourth World Cup of the season. My name is Daniel Amé, and I will be your host for today's Repechage session. The ISU World Cup Short Track Speed Skating Series is presented by Dynamo, ISU official partner. Some spectators for today's session in Seoul that hosted the World Championship last year. We are live from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. We'll have next the 1,000 meter women repechage quarterfinals. We will have a set of 4 races in this division. The skaters having one last opportunity to qualify for the main World Cup competition later today. Again, in the repechage sessions, we'll see skaters that, unfortunately for them, did not qualify directly to the main World Cup competition in one of the individual events. So today we'll have on schedule the 1,000 meter, the 1,500 meter. That event will be raced twice. We get to see here that 2 of the 5 skaters will not be competing, decided not to start in today's competition. From Germany, Myungji Jung and Katrin Monolova from Bulgaria. So that will leave us 3 skaters. Shu Shunui from the People's Republic of China, Nicole Mazur from Poland, and Chanucha Chachesong from Thailand. This will be the first race of the day. The competition at center ice for this morning's session will be Dan Fiorenza Sr., the assistant referee for the main competition, but will be allowed to be at center ice today, supported by Michel Dumont, who acts as the chief referee for the weekend's competition. Lee Yun-suk, the other on-ice assistant referee. She's from Korea. And at the video, the 2 assistant referee video, Sarah Henderson and Claire Taylor. And we are racing in Seoul. This is the repechage rounds first stop of the day, the 1,000 meter. We had 5 skaters initially registered for this first race of the day. Only 3 will be competing. Shu Shunwei from the People's Republic of China, Nicolas Masur, 26th in the World Cup ranking last season, and also competing in this race from Thailand, Tanuchaya Chachesong, number 109. The qualifier here this morning in the repechage in Seoul, the first and second place skaters from each race, and up to a maximum of 2 fastest third place skaters qualify for the repechage semifinals. They'll be raced later in this session here in Seoul. Skater from Thailand, Chachesong, moving to the top. Overtaken on the outside by Nicolas Mazur. And look out for Chu Chunwei, number 98, currently sitting in third. She'll try to move on to the next round by finishing in the first 2 position. Well out in front is Nicolas Masur. Again, the skaters that will be competing in the individual events in today's session. So the 1,000 meter and the 1,500 meter are skaters that competed yesterday in the qualifying rounds, could not make it directly to the main World Cup competition, but are allowed one more chance to compete in this distance and might get all the way to the main World Cup competition later in this repechage. But for now, the goal is to finish in the top two, and that is mission accomplished. Mission accomplished by Chu Chunwei and Nicolas Masur, the Chinese and the Polish, winding up in the first two positions. So welcome you all for this broadcast. We are live from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul, South Korea. We had the ISU World Championships last season, last March actually, in Seoul. And skaters getting used to the ice here at that arena. They've competed there in the last few seasons, and they're ready to give us a good show during the competition. The ISU World Cup Short Track, the fourth one of the 2023-2024 season. And we have the official results. Chu Chunwei, first position. Nicolas Masur, second. And for Tanuchaya Chasesong from Thailand, a time of 1:37.537. She may be able to join the other two skaters in the next round. We'll be picking up a maximum of two fastest third-place skaters to also make it to the Repechage semifinals. Up next, heat number 2, we'll have from Hungary, Somoji Mayadora from Ukraine, Yelzaveta Sidorko from Australia, Kim Yojin, and from Kazakhstan, Alyona Volkovitskaya. Skaters are brought to the line.
Go to the start.
And we're off for this heat number 2 in the women's 1,000 meter repechage quarterfinals. Obviously more of a slow and strategic pace early on. Sidorko currently in the lead, lap time 16.2 seconds, obviously nowhere near some of the fastest laps in around 8-9 seconds that we'll see in the sprint event, the 500 meter, and sometimes later in the race in the 1,000 meter, depending. Obviously, the more strategic the start, typically the faster the finishing laps. Kim from Australia, currently setting the pace. No one wants to stay behind for too long. Only the top two can automatically make it to the next round. And for the skater who will be winding up in third, well, that skater will need to have a reasonably fast time to also make it to the next round. Kim still in the lead. We're now at a faster pace, around 10 seconds per lap. We have 3 laps to go now. No surprise, the speed has been picked up. And it is Somoji from Hungary taking the lead, trying to create a gap on the field. Here from Kazakhstan, Alyona Volkovitskaya in second place, trying by herself to create a gap on the remaining 2 skaters, joining potentially in the last lap the Hungarian Somoji, who keeps a consistent pace, 9.4 seconds in lap number 8. And she's going to be crossing the finishing line in first place. Second will be Volkovitskaya from Kazakhstan. Time 1:40.07. Again, I remind you that we have a set of 4 heats in the women's 1,000 meter repechage. First and second place skaters from each race, and up to a maximum of 2 fastest third place skaters qualify for the repechage semifinals that will take place a little bit later in today's session. And we are morning time, obviously, in Seoul. We have the official results. Somoji from Hungary first, Volkovitskaya from Kazakhstan second, and the time for Kim from Australia 1:41. Will that be enough for her to qualify to the next round? We'll have to wait and see for the results of the remaining 2 heats. Up next, we will have heat number 3. Looks like Yana Khan from Kazakhstan will not be starting this race. That will leave us 4 competitors in this race. Again, those skaters competing in today's session did not qualify directly to the main World Cup competition that will take place later today in Seoul, but they have one last chance to grab one of the couple of spots remaining by qualifying through the repechage.
Go to the start. Right.
And we're off in this heat number 3 of the women's 1,000 meter. Skater from Poland, Gabriela Topolska, setting the pace. She's accompanied by the Chinese Wan Shiran, the Japanese Kikushi Moemi from Hungary, Bashkai Chararutsa, and from Kazakhstan, as I said earlier, not competing in this race. Yana Khan, the 4 skaters now well aligned, well lined up behind the Polish Gabriela Topolska. 11 seconds, 11.4 lap time for the pack for now. So a bit of a faster pace than the previous 2 races. That might help the skater that will be winding up in 3rd place. Wang now giving that pace. Fairly consistent since the beginning. We're gradually picking it up. We have 4 laps to go. Some changes in position. Polish Topolska now setting that pace, trying to create a gap on the Chinese. Wan Shiran currently in 2nd. Look out on the inside. Well done move by Bashkai Chararutsa. In 4th is Kikushi Moemi from Japan. Tight battle for the top spots. Still in the lead is Topolska. We've picked up the pace. We're now sub 10 seconds lap, 9.7 seconds, and we are in the bell lap in Seoul. Bashkai Chararutsa in the lead. Look out on the outside. What a move by Chinese Wan Shiran, who winds up in 2nd. And in 3rd place, unofficially for now is Gabriela Topolska from Poland. Time of 1:38.10 for the winner in this heat number 3. The time for the 3rd place in heat number 1, 1:37.737 was the time of Thanachaya Chachesong from Thailand. The fastest time of the 3rd place skaters for now. Will that allow her to come back in the semifinal in short track? If there's any advancement from the referee's decision, they precede the advancement by time, so that's why we are saying that up to a maximum of 2 fastest 3rd place skaters qualify for the next round, and obviously the first 2 skaters at the finish line automatically qualify for that next round, which will be the Repechage semifinals. And here they are, the final results. Bashkai Chararutsa, 1:38.075. Wan Shiran 2nd, and Gabriela Topolska in 3rd place. So far, the 2nd fastest time of the 3rd place skaters. Will that be enough for her to qualify to the next round? We'll have to wait and see for this upcoming heat. Heat number 4. 5 skaters. Watanabe Aoi, the Italian Elisa Confortola. From Ukraine, Svetlana Repechage. From Norway, Edvig Hild. And from Ukraine, Ksenia Adamko. So 2 skaters from Ukraine in this next heat. We see here on the screen Elisa Confortola, now Watanabe Aoi, 2 veterans from the ISU World Cup circuit. And they'll be fighting for the remaining spots, giving access to the Repechage semifinals.
Go to the start. Right.
We have a clean start in this heat number 4 of the women's 1,000 meter repechage. Again, we are live from the Mokdong ice rink in Seoul. Quite a fast start by the skaters in this heat number 4, and for good reasons. As I said earlier, we can pick up a maximum of 2 fastest third-place skaters to qualify for the Rep Semifinals alongside all the skaters that will have completed their heats in the top 2 positions. So Repechage skating for now. I mentioned earlier that we had 2 skaters from Ukraine qualified for that heat. Only one has joined us at the start line. So Ksenia Adamko isn't racing in this one. Confortola now, our new leader. Repechage right behind her, lap time under 10 seconds. So as I said earlier, fast pace early on for this heat number 4. We have 2.5 laps to go now. Watanabe Aoi, the Japanese, moving in second, right behind the Italian. They've created a gap. We've lost our last 2 skaters. Repechage and Hilda have fallen back. And we just heard the bell giving us the last lap of this heat number 4. Without surprise, Confortola and Watanabe will wind up in the first 2 positions, and by far the fastest time of all the 4 heats, 1:33.95, about 2 seconds faster than the fastest heat so far in Seoul for the repechage session. Fastest heat was the heat number 1 with Xu Xunwei, the Chinese, that won in 1:35.555. And this one was faster, so we'll have to wait and see. Definitely looks like Tanut Chaya Chachaesong from Thailand may qualify through the fastest times and will likely pick up the second fastest time, which might be Gabriela Topolska from Poland, given that we had 2 skaters that went down late in the race. Let's see if that is under video review. But for now, we'll have the final results. Obviously, a very satisfied Elisa Confortola that Pakinsikin has used that race almost as a warm-up today as she prepares for the next round and potentially some of the relay event also later in the competition. We see Dan Carranza coming back to center ice, has likely given his final decision on this race as he's acting at the center ice as chief referee for the morning session. And here they are, Elisa Confortola and Watanabe Aoi, respectively first and second. And we'll have the final results for the qualifying rounds in time in a moment. But looks like Tanuchaya Chachaesong and Gabriela Topolska are the 2 skaters who qualified with the fastest times, in addition to the top 2 skaters in each of the 4 heats. So coming up next will be heat number 1. We're now moving to the men's competition, still in the 1,000-meter repechage quarterfinals. And here we will have a set of 6 heats, where the first place skater from each race and up to a maximum of 4 fastest second place skaters qualify for the repechage semifinals. And we're off. 6 skaters this time around, so we can expect a bit more action. Having 6 skaters at the line. We'll have from the Czech Republic, Radek Fakus. From Croatia, Martin Kolenc. From Ukraine, Danilo Fedorenko. From Chinese Taipei, Lin Chun Che. From Poland, Łukasz Kaczynski. And from Ireland, Liam O'Brien. Good pace set early on. Only the winner is assured from a place to the next round, and we'll be picking up a maximum of 4 fastest second place skaters to qualify for the Rep Semifinal. So the qualifying schedule is a bit different here. Well-aligned pack behind the leader, Danilo Fedorenko from Ukraine. We are now 9 seconds per lap, maybe 8 seconds soon. We'll see. The speed will be picked up, 9.1 seconds. We have 4 laps remaining. And by inside, well done move by Martin Kolenc from Croatia. Some contact at the back between Polish and the Czech. There's now Łukasz Kaczynski, who moved from 4th to 3rd, right behind Danilo Fedorenko from Ukraine. And on the inside, the move made by the Polish Kaczynski, moving from 3rd to 2nd as he tries to come back on our leader, Martin Kolenc. Can he hold on to his first place? And in doing so, qualify for the next round. Very tight in that final turn, but at the finish, looks like Kolenc has held on to The Polish Łukasz Kaczynski for the win. Unofficial time 1:28.04, and we have the bottom left the yellow box, meaning that one of the actions is currently under video review. Our two assistant referee video, Sarah Henderson from Belgium and Claire Taylor from Australia, obviously can look at the action live, and if needed, the referee at center right, the referee in action for today's session being Dan Fiorenza Sr., will be allowed to do his own review and ultimately make his final decision. We see here the last few meters. Polish went for it, but looks like the Croatian Martin Kalinc was able to held on to the Polish. Quite a nice pass made with 3 laps to go by the Croatian, and it might have been a bit too little too late for the Polish Kaczynski. Again, the action from the previous race currently under review. We see here the official video review. It's currently being looked at, given the collision and the fall of Liam O'Brien. During that time, the skaters for heat number 2, obviously warming up on the ice here at the Mokdong Ice Rink. Remind you that on schedule for this session, we'll have the 2 individual events, the 1,000 meter and the first racing of the 1,500 meter. That event is raced twice at World Cup number 4, the ISU World Cup short track held in Seoul this weekend. This is the 4th stop of the season, and we have the final result. Penalty was awarded to Martin Kalinc on that action. An advancement was awarded to Liam O'Brien from Ireland. Łukasz Kaczynski from Poland now officially qualified for the next round. And we see here the action, a penalty in the corner. A contact from behind, skater 103 from Croatia in that action, hitting the skater from Ireland from behind. Contact that was deemed to be illegal, that led to a penalty for Kalinc, unfortunately, who had raced quite a superb event following that contact. That was penalized by chief referee, and advanced on that decision is Liam O'Brien from Ireland.
Go to the start. Ready.
We're off now for heat number 2, series of 6 in the men 1,000 meter repechage. Quarterfinal from Hungary, Jasapati Peter. We have 2 skaters from Great Britain, number 108 Theo Collins and 109 Jonathan Moody. From Germany, number 112 Clement Popper. From Ukraine, number 135 Timofey Korolenko. And from Brazil, number 97 Lucas Henry Koo. And it is Koo who leads the pack for now, 10.5 seconds. Early in the race, but with 6 skaters on the ice, no one wants to stay at the back for too long. Remind you that only the winner is assured of a place to the next round, and will be picking up a maximum of 4 fastest second place skaters to join them in the Repechage semifinals later in today's session. For now, it is Jasapati Peter from Hungary setting the pace. Right behind him is Theo Collins from Great Britain in 3rd place. Skater from Germany, Clemens Popper, and look out on the inside. Well done move by the other Brit in this race, Jonathan Moody. Moody will try to catch up on the main 2 skaters, but he's going to have to do it soon. We are in the bell lap, final lap of this race. Still in the lead is Jasapati Peter, well in control. Collins right behind him, and the 2 Brits winding up in 2nd and 3rd place. Unofficial time 1:31.87 for the unofficial winner for now, Jasapati Peter from Hungary. And once again, we have the yellow box on the bottom left of the screen, meaning that one of the actions is currently under review by the assistant referee video. And while they do that, of course, we get to see some of the highlights of that first race, where we lost one of the skaters early on, Brazilian Lucas Henrique, who led early in the race, but unfortunately wound up in the mats at the Mokdong Ice Ring in Seoul. As I said earlier, Seoul hosted the ISU World Short Track Championship last March. We expect quite a crowd later today for the main World Cup competition. Looks like we're going to have the final results any moment now. Again, a set of 6 heats in the men 1,000 meter repechage quarterfinals, 9 laps around the track. And we see here Michel Dumont, who is at the main tablet entering the decision. We see what was reviewed. The action in the race probably led to the fall of the Brazilian. But again, let's wait and see for the final results and decision in this heat number 2. Remind you that the referee, chief referee for the weekend's competition, Michel Dumont from Canada. The assistant referees on ice, Dan Fiorenza, senior from the USA, Lee Yu-suk from Republic of Korea, and also the 2 assistant referee video, Sarah Henderson from Belgium and Claire Taylor from Australia. We have the starters for the men competition, Brian Chartier from the USA and Kim Sang-jol from the Republic of Korea. And here we have the final decisions. Penalty to Yasapati Pieter from Hungary, and advancement for the Brazilian Lucas Henrique. And we'll get to see here the replay. Penalty was awarded in the straight lane change from inside to out. Skater 117 from Hungary, Yasapati Pieter, was deemed responsible for the contact. Illegal change of line from the inside to out for the Hungarian, who again had raced quite well except for that action, which led to a penalty.
Go to the start. Ready.
And we're off to a clean start. This heat number 3 of the men 1,000 meter repechage quarterfinals. Again, 6 skaters on track. From Italy, Thomas Nadalini. From Japan, Sasaki Shomu. From Belgium, Henzo Prost. From Thailand, Chonchap Taprom. From Singapore, Randun Yankai Pak. And from the USA, Wesley Park. Good pace set early on. Once again, only the winner from each race and up to a maximum of 4 fastest second place skaters qualify for the next round. Next round being the repechage semi-final. Taprom setting that pace in first position for now. Sasaki from Japan right behind. A little cup on the inside. Pass made by the American Wesley Park, letting the Italian winding up in 4th place. The Italian Thomas Nadalini trying to make his way back right ahead of the American. And what a pace set by the Japanese Sasaki, who creates quite a gap on the main pack. Can the Italian Nadalini make a comeback late in the race? That might be too little too late for the Italian. So unofficially, our winner, Sasaki Shomu from Japan, Thomas Nadalini from Italy in 2nd place, and winding up in 3rd is the American Wesley Park. 1:29.30, the unofficial time of our winner in this race. The time of the second place skater in Heat 1, Danilo Fedorenko, 129.096. It's the fastest time so far for skaters that wound up in second place. The time of Heat number 2 was slower, and we'll have to wait and see for the results here in this Heat number 3. And we have the official results. Sasaki Shomu first, 129.289. And the time of Thomas Nadalini, 129.752. So slightly slower than Fedorenko in Heat number 1. So we'll have to wait and see if that time will be sufficient for Nadalini to qualify. We know that we already had some advancement early on, with Liam O'Brien advanced in Heat number 1 and Lucas Henrique advanced in Heat number 2. So that leaves only 2 spots for skaters that will be in second place. So for now, we'll be picking up the 2 fastest second place skaters to qualify for the Repechage Semifinals.
Go to the start. Red.
And we're off for this Heat number 4. We have, again, 6 skaters on track from People's Republic of China. Jun Siwei, number 148. Number 53 from Hungary. Nogradi Bensa from Japan, number 122. Wada Takumi from Australia, number 147. Lucas Warham from Bulgaria, number 89. Maxim Maximov. And from Chinese Taipei, number 158, Chang Yun Chuan. And it is Chang Yun Chuan setting the pace. 5 laps remaining. And look out on the outside, the Japanese. Wata Takumi picking up the pace, trying to create a gap on the field, but not for long, as Jun Siwei is coming back strong and also moves on the outside, shoulder to shoulder with the Japanese, and Ken Nogradi from Hungary make its way to the next round. He's now right in the middle of the Japanese and the Chinese in second position. And you hear the bell giving us the 1 lap mark. Can Wada Takumi hold on? And he's passed on the inside and on the outside. 2 great moves made late in the race by Chun Siwei from the People's Republic of China, and Nogradi Bencha from Hungary. Quite a spectacular race. Nogradi Bencha that waited at the back a bit at the beginning, but found his space in the last few laps. Some contact early in the race at that point between the Japanese and the Chinese. What an outside pass made in the second part of the race by the Japanese. That might have run out of gas a bit in that final lap. Nogradi on the inside and Chun Siwei from the People's Republic of China on the outside. Let's wait and see for the results. We saw here in the corner Michel Dumont not missing any moment of the action. And we have Dan Fioranza Sr. at center ice during today's competition. We have the skaters for Heat number 5 that have just joined us on the ice of the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. And while the skaters from Heat number 4 are getting off the ice, we are waiting for the results. Again, that yellow box, meaning that one of the actions is under review. Remind you that the first place skater from each race, and now up to a maximum of 2 fastest second place skaters, qualify for the Rep Semifinals, as we already had 2 advancements in the previous heats. Liam O'Brien from Ireland and Lucas Henry Koo from Brazil were advanced in one of the previous heats, and here we have the final results. So the action was looked at and no penalty was awarded. So we have Chern Siwei officially our winner in this heat number 4. Now, coming up next will be heat number 5. Once again, 6 skaters will be on track for that 1,000-meter race. And we're off. Looks like one of the 6 skaters registered for this heat number 5 won't be competing. Looks like Diane Sellier from Poland will did not start. That leaves us with the Japanese Matsusu Shuta, the Ukrainian Rostislav Leotenko from Chinese Taipei Su Chungpan, and 2 skaters from Bulgaria, number 99 Stefan Alexander Kumuchev and number 84 Ivan Donchev. Matsusu, the Japanese, setting the pace similar to his teammates in the previous rounds. Skating from the front, we had some contact. We lost one of the skaters. That's why we have already that yellow box at the bottom left. Donchev from Bulgaria sitting in second with 3 laps to go. Tried to create a gap on Leontenko, the Ukrainian, and the other Bulgarian, Kumuchev, sitting in fourth. That might be too little too late for these 2 skaters to come back. And we've lost one of the skaters. Ain't over till it's over in short track. Fortunately for one of the Bulgarian skater losing his grip with 2 laps to go. And unofficially our winner, clean race by Japanese Matsusu Shuta, unofficial time of 1:29.27. So as I mentioned earlier, in the initial qualifying schedule, we were to pick up a maximum of 4 fastest second-place skaters to qualify for the Repechage semifinals, in addition to the first-place skaters from each race. We had 2 advancements, Liam O'Brien from Ireland and Lucas Henry Koo from Brazil in heat 1 and 2. And for now, in terms of the second-place skaters, the fastest time for now has been posted by a skater from Hungary, Nogaradi Bense, 1:29.751, 1,000 of a second faster than the Italian Tomas Nadellini in heat number 3, a time of 1:29.752. And the other time, the fastest before them is Danilo Fedorenko, a time of 1:29.096. So it looks like the Ukrainian might be in a good position to qualify. And here we have the final results, the win for the Japanese Matsusu Shuta. Up next will be the last heat, heat number 6 in the men 1,000-meter quarterfinal. We see on the screen now, he won 3 gold medals last weekend in Beijing. A perfect weekend for Jordan Pierre-Gilles from Canada. 2 individual gold medals in his favorite distance, the 500-meter, and completed the perfect score in the men's relay. And he's going to be competing in this heat number 6 against 2 skaters from Austria, Tobias Wolf, number 92, and Matthias Wolfgang, number 93, from Poland, Mikhail Niewinski. And skater from Germany, Ben Jung, is considered did not start DNS, and looks like it's the same for Reno van Horen from Belgium. So initially we had 6 skaters registered for this heat number 6, and only 4 of them have shown up on the ice of the Mokdong ice rink for this morning's session, Seoul time. And Good start by Mikhail Nowinski, another 500 meters specialist. Two sprinters here leading the pace, Nowinski and Pierre-Gilles. Right behind them, the two Austrian, Tobias Wolf and Matthias Wolfgang. 6 laps remaining. We are already at 9.5 seconds per lap. We know that these skaters will have to skate a reasonably fast time if they want. Skaters that will be coming up in second place to qualify for the Rep semifinals. Definitely skating under 1:29. A minute 29 would be the safest way to qualify for the next round. Obviously, the safest way being to win this heat number 6. And for now, Jordan Pierre-Gilles has taken a good option, but he's going to have to be smart in his racing for the last few laps. With Mikhail Nowinski right behind him, 2 laps to go. Tobias Wolf from Austria in third place, and we hear the bell giving us the 1 lap mark. Can Jordan Pierre-Gilles hold on to Mikhail Nowinski? Good pace for now, so everything goes well. The top 2 skaters will make it to the semifinal. The fastest time so far in the heats, time of 1:27.42, and that's why we see probably Nowinski and Pierre-Gilles shaking hands after the race. They both set a fast pace from the start, and pending the final decisions, they might be both moving on to the Repechage semifinals in the 1,000 meter event. We'll get to see the highlights of the race. Quite a clean pass by Pierre-Gilles, the 500 meter specialist, also member of the gold medal team from the last Winter Olympic Games in Beijing in 2022. Olympic champion in the relay. In first place, right ahead of Mikhail Nowinski, the youngster from Poland. Unfortunately for them and for all the skaters competing in this morning's competition, they could not make it directly to the main World Cup competition. They had to skate the repechage session, but they still have a shot at making it to the big show later today by qualifying through the repechage, and it is mission accomplished by both Jordan Pierre-Gilles and Mikhail Nowinski. Nowinski, one of the fastest time in the event, and that will allow him to come back in the repechage semifinals later in today's session. The 2 skaters qualified with the fastest times, Nowinski and also Danilo Fedorenko from Ukraine in heat number 1. As we also have 2 skaters that will be advancing on the referee's decision, Liam O'Brien from Ireland and Lucas Henrique from Brazil. We have one last set of heats and quarterfinals before the ice resurfacing break. Will be in the men 1500 meter repechage quarterfinals. This event, the 1500 meter, will be raced twice during the weekend, and today's action is the first racing of that event. Obviously, qualifying rounds took place yesterday at the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. Will be interesting to watch that first heat. We'll have on track the 2015 world champion and the world record holder in this distance, Shinky Konek from the Netherlands, the veteran representing the Netherlands. We'll have to qualify for the main event first by qualifying in this repechage quarterfinals. The qualifying schedule, the first, second, and third place skaters from each race, and up to a maximum of 2 fastest fourth place skaters qualify for the repechage semifinals.
Go to the front. Ready.
And we have a clean start, so we should be expecting a bit of a slower pace early on in the 1500 meter compared to what we saw earlier on, especially with the qualifying schedule being that the top 3 skaters in each of the 4 heats automatically qualify for the repechage semifinals and will be picking up the two fastest fourth place skaters to join them later in today's session. Again, we'll have a set of 4 heats in the men's competition, and we'll have the ice resurfacing break immediately after heat number 4. So in this heat number 1, as I mentioned earlier, we have the 2015 world champion, record holder in this distance, the Dutch Shinky Connect. He's accompanied by the American number 82, Marcus Howard, from Chinese Taipei, number 160, Tai Chiao-Wei. From Italy, number 153, Pietro Marinelli. From Hong Kong, number 113, Kwok Tsung Fong. And from Italy, number 119, Davide Oskemper. So 2 Italians skating in this heat number 1. More of a strategic start here in this heat number 1. The Italians will likely try to control the pace from the front a little bit later. We still have 7 laps to go in this heat number 1. The Davide Oskemper, currently our leader. Marcus Howard from the USA skating right behind him. Clean racing for now, not only in this race, but overall in this morning's session. Obviously, we'll have some actions that might lead to penalty from time to time. That's the last shot for these skaters to qualify for the big show, but still, fairly clean racing for now, under review of Michel Dumont acting as chief referee for the weekend's competition. So now Howard being at the front, some action at the back of the pack as well. Oskemper from Italy watching from second position. The veteran Shinky Connect in third place seems satisfied with his place for now. Right behind the Italians, saving some energy. Stuck right between the 2 Italians. Can the other Italian, Marinelli, move to the front? The top 3 again assured of a place in the next round. And what a gap Marcus Howard created in the final 2 laps. Oskemper, Connect, Marinelli, and at the line, no change in position unofficially. Marcus Howard, Davide Oskemper, and Shinky Connect in the first 3 positions. You see here some of the highlights in this heat number 1. Again, a big hello to all of you watching us on the ISU live stream from all around the world. We are in the morning session at the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. The main World Cup competition will be taking place in the afternoon, home time in Seoul. Again, we are looking this morning at the repechage rounds for the 1,000 meter and the first racing of the 1,500 meter. And later in the session, we'll have the 2,000 meter mixed team relay. We'll have the semifinals in that competition, and that will be closing our session before we have a few hours between the 2 sessions leading to the main World Cup competition in the afternoon. Up next, we'll have the heat number 2. We had the final results for heat number 1. And as expected, Howard, Oskemper, and Connect had the first 3 position. The time of Pietro Marinelli, the Italian, 2:30.552. Still has a chance to move on to the repechage semifinals. And for now, we'll have heat number 2. Again, we have 6 skaters. In theory, for that race, we saw some DNS did not start in the previous heats and rounds. Some skaters might have been injured in yesterday's competitions, or for others want to save some energy for other events later in the weekend. But definitely for these skaters that unfortunately could not make it to the main World Cup competition from the qualifying rounds yesterday, they at least have one last shot to qualify from the repechage. And we've seen in history of the ISU World Cup short track cases of skaters that skated early in the morning through the repechage rounds and making it to the podium, and in some cases even winning gold in that same event later in the afternoon. So it's anyone's game here in Seoul.
Go to the front. Ready.
And we're off for this heat number 2. We heard the gunshot, the starters for the weekend's competition. Brent Chartier for the men, Kim Sung-jol for the women. We have the apprentice starter, Chunji Park, the Republic of Korea, probably seeing a bit of action during the repechage. You know, at the ISU, there's an apprentice referee program that allows the host country to designate some referees that will be joining the ISU rank shortly and give them a chance to have some exposure to the World Cup circuit. This heat number 2 we have from Kazakhstan, Denis Nikisha, the 500-meter specialist, 3-time Olympian. He's accompanied by Ole Hende from Ukraine, number 71. From New Zealand, Lucas McDonald. From Belgium, Vare van Dam. From Ukraine, Yaroslav Morozov. And from the Netherlands, Friso Emmons. 2 Ukrainian in this race. And we see here some contact. And unfortunately, we've lost one of the Ukrainians. Yaroslav Morozov fell in the left corner, enabling Friso Emmons to stay in first place. Reasonably slow pace for now, over 10 seconds per lap. 10.46 the time of Friso Emmons. We have 6 laps remaining. Look out on the inside, McDonald from New Zealand moving to the top. Emmons right behind him. Ole Ende, the veteran from Ukraine, in 3rd position. And look out also for the Kazakh, Denis Nikisha. Unfortunately, we've lost another skater, Lucas McDonald from New Zealand. And at the same time, that's when Nikisha went for his powerful move. And again, hard contact in the board by Ole Hende. Race of attrition here in the 1500 meter. Nikisha is all out, 8.85 the time in this last lap. And we hear the bell giving us the last lap of this heat number 2. Right behind him is Friso Emmons, and the 2 skaters comfortably established in their ranking. And winding up in 3rd is Vare van Dam from Belgium. Unofficially, our 3 skaters. We had 2 boxes at the bottom left. They're currently green, which means that they've been quickly looked at by our assistant referee video, Sarah Henderson and Claire Taylor. If they're green, that means they've been cleared right away. Don't need for an additional review by the chief referee after the race. And we'll have the official results coming up soon. All the skaters had to complete, obviously, all their 13.5 laps for the official distance. And we just heard the whistle. That confirmed that the race is officially over. Let's wait and see for the final results in this heat number 2. Seen just of the highlight, as I said earlier, a nice late push by Denis Nikisha, the 3-time Olympian, 500 meters specialist, moving on the outside to pass the Dutch Friso Emmons. Again, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place skaters from each race, and up to a maximum of 2 fastest 4th place skaters qualifying for the Repechage Semifinals. We see the skaters from heat number 3 warming up on the ice, the track stewards also making sure that we have good ice conditions for every race, the referees at center ice. And here we have the official results. Emmons, who went for a final push, final kick at the end, moving to 1st, Nikisha 2nd, Vare van Dam in 3rd position. So we have 2 races left in the Repechage quarterfinals of the men 1500 meter. Again, you see the number 1 between parentheses, meaning that we raced that event twice. 2 completely different set of races for that event. So we have today the event number 1, and we'll have tomorrow the event number 2. Skaters having the opportunity to decide which of the 2 individual events per day that they skate.
Go to the start.
So some will skate the 1500 meter twice if they're true specialists. And for some of them, they might skate one of the 2 and skate the other individual events, whether the 1000 meter today or the 500 meter yesterday. That was obviously well decided yesterday as we had the qualifying rounds for all of the 4 individual events. And we are left for this session with the skaters who did not compete, or sorry, who did not qualify directly for the main World Cup competition. And they have one last chance to making it to the big show by grabbing one of the few spots available in the repechage round. Mentioned earlier the importance of the time for skaters winding up in 4th place. Obviously, we had 3 skaters falling down in the previous race, so the time of the 4th place skaters, Lucas McDonald, is quite slow, 2:51.191, and the fastest time for now is in heat number 1, Pietro Marinelli, the Italian, 2:30.552. So, assuming not a large number of advancements in the final 2 heats, chances are good that the Italian Pietro Marinelli will qualify for the repechage semifinals with one of the fastest times. So in this heat number 2, from France, we have Quentin Ferkock. From Poland, Matus Mikolajczuk. From Great Britain, Peter Riches. From Germany, Jonas Hammermüller. From the Czech Republic, Zdenek Shepal. From Japan, Matsubayashi Yuin. From Singapore, Rio Ong. We have one of these skaters that did not start in this race, led for now by Quentin Ferkock, the Frenchman, the 500-meter specialist. We've seen some of the 500-meter specialists having to skate the repechage in the longer distances. So Ferkock certainly more at ease in the sprint event, but can still do well late in the race if the pace is reasonably slow from the beginning. He's now currently sitting in 3rd place right behind the Japanese Matsubayashi Yui, and Ferkock takes that 2nd place right back. Both the Japanese and the Frenchman seeming satisfied to be skating behind the Brit Peter Riches, setting the pace. And on the inside, well done move by the Frenchman, Quentin Ferkock, overtaking Peter Riches. Good battle for 3rd place between the Japanese. Matsubayashi will try to hold on to his 3rd place. I remind you that the top 3 at the finish line automatically qualify for the next round. And the water move on the inside by the Czech Zdenek Shepal. Will that be enough to qualify for the next round? Let's wait and see for the official results. The time for Quentin Ferkock, 2:32.40, so that's slower than heat number 1, which will become something to watch for skaters that will be coming in 4th place in each of these races. As I said earlier, for now, no advancements, and we take advancements before qualifying skater by time. That's why we say up to a maximum of 2 fastest 4th place skaters. Very smart racing by Quentin Ferkock. Stayed in the top 3 most of the race. Was overtaken late in the race by the Japanese Matsubayashi, but came back right away. Did not lose a time. Led the Brit Riches, spend energy from the front, and made that final push late in the race. And we have the official results. Quentin Ferkock, Peter Riches, and Zdenek Shepal with a well done late move. Winding up in 3rd, so all of these 3 skaters now qualified for the repechage semifinals. Up next, we'll have the last heat before the ice resurfacing break. We see on the screen, just on the screen, the Olympic champion in the relay, Maxime Laoun from Canada. He's going to be one of the 6 skaters registered for this heat number 4, the last heat in the men 1500-meter repechage quarterfinals. Again, the first racing of that event this weekend in Seoul. We are live from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul, South Korea.
Go to the front. Ready.
Clean and slow start for this heat number 4. We have again 6 skaters competing in this final heat. We have 2 skaters from Poland, number 69, Nathan Toma, and number 154, Pavel Adamski. From Kazakhstan, number 40, Nurtilek Kazgali. From Bulgaria, number 98, Asan Jurov. From Thailand, number 157, Triphop Tongnam. And representing Canada, wearing number 7 in the World Cup ranking last season, thanks to a gold medal in the 500 meter at the second World Cup of the season in Salt Lake City during the 2022-2023 season, Maxime Laoun. Remind you that the first, second, and third place skaters from each race and up to a maximum of 2 fastest fourth place skaters qualify for the Repechage Semifinals. So the time for now, 2:30.552, the time of Pietro Marinelli from Italy in heat number 1. 2:33.514, the time of Mateusz Mikolczuk from Poland in heat number 3. So for the skater that will be finishing in fourth place in this heat, hopefully he has the fastest time than 2:33.514 if he hopes to make it to the next round and make it to potentially making it to the big show later today. No surprise, the two Polish setting the pace, trying to create a fast tempo from the front. Paweł Adamski, currently our leader. Thomas, his teammate, in second. Look out for Maxime Laoun in third place. He hasn't said his last word for now. Satisfied to be behind the Polish and comes back now from third to second. Look out also for the Kazakh. The Kazakh Nurtilek Kazgali moving on the outside from fourth to third. Going for a final push and on the inside. Well done move by Maxime Laoun. Taking the lead and also overtaken on the inside by Kazgali is the Polish. Toma currently in third. For Adamski in fourth place, he's going to have to skate a fast last lap to also qualify to the next round. But that looks easy at the front. Kazgali and Laoun at the top two. Toma in third place and Adamski in a non-official time of 2:31.92. Might be able to qualify for the next round with one of the 2 fastest times, assuming no advancement in this heat number 4. It looks like no action is under review, so the chances are good that the top 4 skaters in this heat number 4 will make it to the Repechage quarterfinals. Just heard the whistle, the chief referee. We see here some of the contact early in the race. Will that be enough for a penalty? Or obviously if a contact doesn't have an impact on the race, it might be let go. So contact doesn't necessarily mean that there's a penalty. But again, that's the opportunity that the referees have to obviously watch the action live from center ice. Also the 2 assistant video referees, Sarah Henderson and Claire Taylor, in the video booth at the Mokdong Ice Rink. And looks like we'll have the final results shortly. No penalties awarded. And as anticipated, the top 4 skaters in this heat, Kazgali, Laoun, Toma, and Adamski, all 4 qualified for the Repechage semifinals. That will be later in today's session. And that was the last race for our first block of this Repechage session. Time now for ice resurfacing. Typically breaks of about 15 minutes, but for now it's time for ice resurfacing. We'll be starting at 10:49 local time in Seoul. Time now for ice resurfacing, and then we'll be resuming the racing with the Repechage semifinals, the set of semifinals in the 1,000 meter and also the 1,500 meter. One last chance for these skaters to qualify for the big show, the main World Cup competition, later today in Seoul. We are back live from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. We're now ready for the block of semifinals in this repechage sessions. We'll start first with the 1,000 meter. In the women's competition, the first place skaters from each race qualify for the main World Cup quarterfinals that will be taking place later today. So only the winner can make it to the big show. We'll have the Chinese Chu Chunwei, number 98, Hungarian Bashkai Charalutsa, number 53, another Chinese Wang Shirang, number 29, from Poland Gabriela Topolska, number 33, and finally from Kazakhstan, Alyona Volkovitskaya. Stakes are high, only the winner can make it to the main World Cup competition. And we're off for this first of two heats in the repechage semifinals. No surprise, the two Chinese setting up the pace early. But let's wait and see if the other skaters will lead it that way. It looks like it's not going to be the case. The Polish Topolska moving to the front, accompanied by Volkovitskaya. The Kazakh, we can expect a lot of passing and changes in position in this race. No one's going to want to stay at the back for too long. Volkovitskaya in first. We are already skating sub 10-second laps. 6 to go in this heat number 1. Topolska in second. Shushunwei, the Chinese, in third. The other Chinese, Wen Shirang, 29th in the world last season, 19th in the overall World Cup ranking so far this season, trying to move to the top. Good block made by Volkovitskaya on the inside, but during that time, we had quite a powerful outside pass by Shushunwei. The Chinese creating a gap. Can the Hungarian Bashkai Charalutsa come back on our leader? We have one of the actions that was looked at already green with 2 laps to go. Shushunwei in the lead. Bashkai Charalutsa in second. Wan Shirang in third. Wan Shirang on the outside, moving from third to second. Can she come back and take the winning lead from her teammate Shushunwei? Very tight at the line. Unofficially, we have Shushunwei first, Wan Shirang second, and Bashkai Charalutsa from Hungary in third place. I remind you that the first place skater in each of the two semifinals will move on to the main World Cup competition that will begin with the quarterfinals later today at the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. A lot of action in this race. Number 1 semifinal, number 1 early in the race, Volkovitskaya maintaining her first place, blocking well the Polish, but during that time losing the speed that proved to be costly, as Chu Chunwei at the time made her move on the outside and was a bit too little too late for the other Chinese, Wan Qiran, who wound up in second position. And it looks like we're going to have the final results. Shushunwei qualified for the main World Cup competition, second Wan Qiran, and Bashkai Charalutsa from Hungary in third position. Up next, we'll have heat number 2 in the 1,000 meter repechage semifinals. Again, the winner in this race will qualify for the main World Cup competition. Quarterfinal round that will be raced later today at the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. We'll have 5 skaters on track. The Italian Elisa Confortola, number 34. Watanabe Aoi from Japan, number 42. Nicole Masur, number 26 from Poland. Tanuchaya Chatsesong, number 109 from Thailand. And skating from Hungary, we have Shomoji Maya Dora.
Go to the start.
And we're off for this semi-final number 2 in the 1,000 meter. Only the winner can make it to the main World Cup competition. Good pace set early on by the Japanese Watanabe Aoi, the Japanese skating from the front in most of these races so far today, overtaken on the outside by Chache Song from Thailand, and right away on the outside is also the Italian Elisa Confortola, neck and neck with Chache Song. Good pace set early on. Look out for Shomodzi Mayadora from Hungary, waiting for her time, currently sitting in third position. Masur from Poland in fourth. And fifth, we have Watanabe Aoi, who skated from the front early but went back at the back of the pack. We have passed the halfway mark in this race. The new leader, the Italian Confortola, with 3 laps to go. Confortola well in the lead. Can the Polish Nicole Mazur come back and chase her for the win? Mazur picking up the pace on the outside. Looks like it's going to be a two-way battle for the end between the Italian and the Polish. Who between Confortola and Mazur will be competing in the main World Cup competition later today? We are in the bell lap. Shomodi moving in third. And as they're driving to the line, comfortably in the lead is the Italian Elisa Confortola. Strong showing by the Italian, patient early on, attacked with about 4 laps to go, picked up the pace and maintained the pace late in the race. We had a final push by both Masur and Shomori, but too little too late for the Polish and the Hungarian. Only the winner in this race can make it to the main World Cup competition, and looks like it's going to be the Italian Elisa Confortola who will be competing once more in the 1,000 meter later afternoon time in Seoul. Remind you that in heat number 1, Xu Shunwei from the People's Republic of China qualified for the World Cup quarterfinals through a win in this heat number 1. We see here Confortola tipping up the ice, while the skaters in heat number 1 of the men 1,000 meter Repechage semifinals currently warming up on the ice of the Mokdong ice ring. And it is now confirmed Elisa Confortola from Italy qualified for the World Cup quarterfinals. Coming up next, we'll have the first of 2 semifinals in the men 1,000 meter repechage. 5 skaters on track and same qualifying schedule. And for the women, the first place skater from each race qualify for the quarterfinals. We'll have on track from Ireland, Liam O'Brien. From Japan, Matsusu Shuta. We have 2 skaters from Poland, number 35, Lukasz Kozinski, number 59, Mikhail Nowinski, and representing Canada, Jordan Pierre-Gilles.
Go to the front. Red.
Clean start for this heat number 1. The series of 2 in the men 1,000 meter repechage semifinals. Taking an early lead is Jordan Pierre-Gilles, the 500 meter specialist, 3-time gold medalist. Last weekend in Beijing, the 3rd stop of the 2023-2024 ISU World Cup Short Track Speed Skating Series, overtaken by the Japanese Matsusu Shuta. Look out for the 2 Polish, Kozinski and Nowinski. They haven't said their last word. Moving on the outside is Nowinski, neck and neck with the Japanese and the Canadian. Mission accomplished by Nowinski, and some contact between the Polish and Japanese. And what a move made by Jordan Pierre-Gilles to stay on his blades despite the collision right in front of him. No surprise here, we have a yellow box at the bottom left of the screen. We'll certainly look more closely at the action. About 8 different camera angles for the assistant referee video, Sarah Henderson and Claire Taylor. For now, it is Kozinski who leads the race. Was there any contact with the blades of Pierre-Gilles that probably leads him to slow down near the end? We'll have to wait and see. But good battle for the win between our two skaters and some contact once more. What a race here between Kaczynski and O'Brien. Fighting till the end. A second yellow box is now on the bottom left of the screen. That means a second action will need to be looked at. So expect some delay before we have the final results. Obviously, our assistant referee video will be looking at the action first, and if needed, the chief referee, Michel Dumont, will be allowed to look at the action. We had a view on Jordan Pierre-Gilles. There might have been blade click when we had that collision. Let's wait and see if we can see on slow motion the Polish here trying to make a move on the inside on Pierre-Gilles, who maintained his track, and that's where we had the collision between the Polish and the Japanese. And Pierre-Gilles here that made quite a move to stay on his blades and skates. And let's wait and see the decisions here. There's definitely a couple of actions to look at in addition to the final lap between the Polish and the skater from Ireland. Will there be a penalty there? As I said earlier, we're reviewing the first action between the Japanese and the Polish, and there was also a second mark currently under review between the Polish and the skater from Ireland, Liam O'Brien. During that time, we're obviously allowing skaters from heat number 2 to warm up a bit on the ice. Skaters looking at the main screen here at the Mokdong ice rink, probably anxious to see the final results. We have here the official video review. On the left-hand side, Michel Dumont in communication with the assistant referee video. Will it be deemed to be accidental, or will one of the skaters be declared guilty of that collision? That was the first action being looked at, and we'll see if there was any incidents on Jordan Pierre-Gilles as a result, shaking hands with the Polish Michał Nowinski. The other Polish, Łukasz Kaczynski, looking at the action here as well on the main screen at the Mokdong ice rink. It'll be interesting to see who might be responsible for the action. As I said, two actions being looked at currently. The first one between the Japanese and the Polish, so Nowinski and Matsusu, and the second action between the other Polish, Kaczynski, and Liam O'Brien from Ireland. So our referees will take time to revisit each of the two actions, and as soon as we have the final decisions, they will be obviously posted on the screen here, and we'll have the official referee replay in case of a penalty and or an advancement. Remind you that this is heat number 1 in a series of 2 in the men 1,000 meter repechage semifinals. We'll have, after the block of 1,000 meters, the semifinals for the 1,500 meter, the first racing of that event at the Mokdong ice rink in Seoul. This is the 4th ISU World Cup short track speed skating of the season. The first 2 took place in Montreal, Canada in October, last weekend in Beijing, and will be in Dresden, Germany in February, and the last stop of the season in Gdansk, Poland in February 2024. We saw Michel Dumont, chief referee from Canada, entering the final decisions on the main tablet. As I said, 2 actions were looked at. Skaters obviously anxious to have the final results and decisions. We see Kaczynski and Pierre-Gilles waiting for those results. They probably know they're on the main screen here at the Mokdong ice rink, looking to see if they're going to make it to the next round or not. And coming up next will be heat number 2 of the men 1,000 meter repechage semifinals. Only the first place skaters from each race qualify for the World Cup quarterfinals. Could always be advancements, of course, but automatically the winner in each of the 2 heats of these repechage semifinals will qualify for the World Cup quarterfinals later today. Well, it might be seconds away from the final decisions being officially posted. Let's wait and see the final decisions from Michel Dumont. Start to see a few more spectators at the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul, South Korea. Might be quite a full capacity crowd later today for the main World Cup competition. And at the end of this session, we'll have the mixed team relay 2,000 meter semifinal. We'll have the final of the mixed team relay later today in the main World Cup competition. We see here the referee Michel Dumont getting closer to the timing deck. We have also Dan Fiorenza Sr. at center ice for the repechage rounds. Also entering some decisions. The other referees on duty this weekend, the on-ice assistant Lee Yun-suk from the Republic of Korea, assistant referee video Sarah Henderson and Claire Taylor, starters Brian Chartier and Kim Sang-chol, and the competitors stewards Brett Torosel and Kwon Bok-hee. And here we have the final results. We have Lukasz Krzyzewski qualified automatically. Jordan Pierre-Gilles and Shuta Matsusu advanced, and 2 penalties. Mikhail Niewiński and Liam O'Brien will get to see the official video replay showing the action. The first penalty in the straight lane change from outside to in. Skater number 59, Mikhail Niewiński, he was responsible for that collision that led to the advancement for Matsusu Shuta. We see here also the end of straight outside skater not giving space. So penalty to the skater from Ireland on that action here. Exactly, that's where it happens. He should have led the passage to the Polish. And on the previous action, given the impact it also had on Jordan Pierre-Gilles, Jordan Pierre-Gilles was advanced by the referee, which led to the 2 penalties and the 2 advancements. So a lot of action in this heat. Number 1, Kaczynski, Pierre-Gilles, and Matsusu will be advancing to the main World Cup competition. Time now for the second semifinal. One last chance for these 5 skaters to come back later today in the main World Cup competition. From Ukraine, Danilo Fedorenko. From Japan, Sasaki Shomu, from the People's Republic of China, Chern Siwei. From Great Britain, Theo Collins, and from Brazil, Lucas Henry Koo. Collins currently in the lead. Again, only the winner can qualify for the next round. Obviously, skaters in the top 2 positions can technically be advanced if they're interfered with in the course of the action. So you can argue the top 2 skaters being a bit more protected in case of a penalty or a collision that could lead to an advancement, despite the fact that only the first place skater qualify for the next round. That's one of the racing rule in short track speed skating. Chern Siwei, the Chinese, setting the pace. Sasaki, the Japanese, overtaken by Theo Collins, the Brit, now in second place. Can Chern Siwei hold on to the Brit and to the Japanese? We are now in the bell lap by the inside. The Japanese, Sasaki, now in second, overtaken right away by Collins. What a fight between the Brit and the Japanese. But unfortunately for them, it's going to be in a losing cause. The Chinese, Chern Siwei, has unofficially won it, the time of 1:31.81. The time not that important in this race, as only the winner qualifies for the World Cup quarterfinals. A very satisfied Chern Siwei, of course. The Chinese that skated smartly from the front early on, never went too far back. And despite the fight between the Brit and the Japanese, he held on to his first position. Some clean passing between the Brit and the Japanese, Theo Collins and Sasaki Shomu, and a strong finish by the Chinese, who will likely obtain his ticket for the main World Cup competition in the next few seconds. Remind you that at heat number 1, Lukasz Kaczynski, Jordan Pierre-Gilles, and Matsusu Shuta have qualified for the main World Cup competition, and they're going to be accompanied by Chen Siwei, the Chinese, who has won heat number 2. So, in theory, only 2 skaters would have made it to the main World Cup competition. We'll have 4 skaters added to the main World Cup competition later today, afternoon time in Seoul. Kaczynski, Pierre-Gilles, Matsusu, and Chen from China. Up next, first of 2 heats in the women's 1500 meter repechage semifinals.
Go to the south. Right there.
Only 4 skaters on track for this heat number 1 of the women's 1500 meter repechage semifinals. Skaters went directly in this division to the semifinals. So first time of the day that they're competing on the ice of the Mokdong ice rink in Seoul. From Kazakhstan, Aliya Amirgalieva. From Hungary, Tot Esther. From the Netherlands, Diede van Horschut. And from Poland, Ada Majewska. So as expected, fairly slow pace early on. Very strategic start. Same qualifying schedule than we had for the 1000 meter. The first place skater from each race qualify for the main World Cup semifinal that will be taking place later today at the Mokdong ice rink in Seoul. Probably quite a large and loud crowd there later in the day. More of a quiet audience, fairly typical of all the main World Cups for the repechage rounds. Kind of a warm-up sessions for the crowd there, but an important session for the skaters as they have one last shot to make it to the big show. Some contact between the Hungarian and the Kazakh Tot and Amirgalieva. Skating for now in second is Ada Majewska from Poland. We have the early action that led to that yellow box at the bottom left, currently being reviewed by Sarah Anderson and Claire Taylor. Van Horschut, the Dutch, currently in the lead with 4.5 laps to go. We are now skating faster, 9 seconds per lap, 9.7, 9.8. Van Horschut in the lead, Tot in second. Look out now in third, moving from fourth to third is the Kazakh Aliya Amirgalieva. With our top 2 skaters creating quite a gap. As I said earlier, only the winner will make it to the big show, will make it to the main World Cup competition in the 1500 meter event, the first racing of that event this weekend in Seoul. We are now in the bell lap. Van Horschut, Tot first and second. Can Tot come back on the Dutch? Looks like the Dutch is simply too strong in this race, and she wins it on official time of 2:39.80. And looks like we move to a green box at the bottom left, so no decisions required on that action. Then we'll have the official results coming up shortly for this heat number 1. We have 5 skaters registered for heat number 2, where once again the first place skater will qualify for the World Cup semifinals. And we see here the highlights of the previous race as the Hungarian went on the outside, passing the Kazakh. We see some touches, the hand that were touched, that might have been not necessarily sufficient for a penalty. The contact between the passing was cleared. We could see with the green box. And the Dutch, Van Horschut, that crossed the finish line in first place. And we'll see the official results. Van Horschut first and qualified for the World Cup semifinals, a time of 2:39.714.
Go to the start.
Time now for heat number 2. Very slow and strategic start. 5 skaters on track from Ukraine. Miroslava Selyukova. From Japan, Nakashima Mire. From Belgium, Tineke Dendolk. From Germany, Lisa Eckstein. And from Hungary, Somoji Barbara. Wearing number 110. Again, this is the 4th stop of the ISU World Cup Short Track Speed Skating Series. Season 2023-2024. The World Championship will be taking place in March in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Skaters in the World Cup Series fighting for the Crystal Globe. Crystal Globe offered and presented by Dunamu, the ISU sponsor from Seoul. So they're on home soil this weekend for the ISU World Cup Short Track at the Mokdong Ice Rink. Still a fairly slow pace, 17.6 seconds per lap. The race is led by the Japanese Nakashima Mire. Eckstein in second position. Skaters being very satisfied to be skating behind the Japanese with 9 laps to go, 16.21 seconds. We're expecting to see laps under 10 seconds later in the race. We'll get closer to 40, 45, and even sometimes in the sprint events, 50 kilometers an hour on that tight short track, 111.12 meters long. And we have a new leader now with the Hungarian overtaken right away on the inside by the Japanese Nakashima. Nakashima increasing the pace. Will slowly but surely be getting under 10 seconds per lap. Nakashima now at 10.38. Right behind her is Somoji Barbara from Hungary. Lisa Eckstein from Germany in third position. Speed is picked up gradually. Only the winner will make it to the big show. 4 laps to go. All 5 skaters still in contention. The Japanese still in the lead. Look out, good battle between Somoji and Eckstein for second place. Look out also for Dendolk from Belgium. Now on the inside, diving in third place. Although some contact with the German. Will it be allowed or let go? We'll see. But in the meantime, the Japanese Nakashima hold on to her first place. Can Somoji come back and dive on the inside? Will be not happening here as she's losing grip in that last lap. Comfortably in the driver's seat as the Japanese Nakashima Mire. We see the unofficial time over 3 minutes, showing the slow and strategic pace early on. The world record in the women's 1500 meter being 2:18.695 for the record, the junior record, and for the senior record for the women 1500 meter, 2:14.354. Choi Ming Chong, a time posted on November 12, 2016 in Salt Lake City. So we were obviously quite far from that mark on this race. That will give us the final results, and obviously the ranking was what mattered on that one, and Nakashima has claimed her ticket for the main World Cup competition. Stage is set for an exciting heat number 1 of the 1500-meter men Repechage semifinals. Rep semifinals, the last round in this morning's sessions for the individual events. 7 skaters on track, so 2 races left for the individual events. Then ice resurfacing, and we'll wrap it up with the mixed team relay. And we're off in this heat number 1. On track, 2 skaters from the Netherlands, number 14, Friso Emmons, and number 16, the 2015 world champion and world record holder in this distance, Shinky Connect. Skating for the USA, number 82, Marcus Howard. 2 skaters representing Italy, number 119, Davide Oskemper, and number 153, Pietro Marinelli. From Poland, number 69, Nathan Thoma. And from Great Britain, number 70, Peter Riches. So, good battle between skaters that know each other quite well. The veteran Shinky Connect, number 16, still in the hunt for 8th place in the main World Cup competition in the 1500 meter, which has been for years one of his favorite events. But he's in tough against his teammate Friso Emmons, the American Marcus Howard. There were 2 Italians always to watch. Davide Oskemper, who looked quite strong in his heat early on in the session today. Howard now our leader with 8 laps to go. No one wants to stay at the back for too long. At the Polish Nathan Thoma now leading. Marinelli, the Italian, in 2nd place. Look out for the American and the Dutch. Friso Emmons now making his move on the outside. Now in the lead is Emmons. Will his teammate Shinky Connect also make his way to the top? He's now skating in 4th. The Polish Thoma skating right behind him. Marcus Howard sitting in 3rd place. Shinky Connect for now still in 4th. I remind you that only the winner in this race can make it to the big show, making it to the big semifinals in the World Cup competition. And on the inside, Marcus Howard makes his move on Thomas, while Emmons is still strongly skating. In this heat number 2, they hear the bell indicating that we have 1 lap to go. On the outside is Riches making his way in 3rd place, but that will be again too little too late for the Brit at the finish line. Unofficially, our winner from the Netherlands, Friso Emmons. Solid racing by the Dutch Friso Emmons. Went near the front early in the race. Avoided the rush hour late in these races. Polish came to the front, and the Italian Marinelli as well at some point. But then there was that big push made by the Dutch Emmons, bringing with him the Polish and the Americans. We had a try by Shinky Connect with about 3 laps to go to move up, but ran out of speed to complete his pass and had to leave the way to his teammate Friso Emmons, that we'll likely see later this afternoon Seoul time for the main World Cup competition. And here we are. We have the final results. Friso Emmons, a time of 2:29.418. Howard 2nd, Riches 3rd. Fortunately for them, they won't be coming back in the main World Cup competition this afternoon. And up next, our final individual race of the session. Heat number 2 in the Repechage semifinals. 1500 meter, the first racing of that event for the competition in Seoul. We'll have ice resurfacing immediately after this race, and we'll be coming back for the final event of the session, the mixed team relay 2,000 meter semifinals. And we're off in this heat number 2. 7 skaters on track once again. Quite a quality heats in this one. 2 skaters from Kazakhstan. Denis Nikisha, number 11. Nurtilek Kazgali, number 40. From Belgium, Vare van Dam, number 75. Representing Canada, number 7, Maxim Laun. From Poland, number 154, Pavel Adamski. From France, number 30, Quentin Ferkok. And from the Czech Republic, number 105, Zdenek Shepal. Laun setting the pace, the veteran from Canada. Currently giving a good pace. Van Dam in second position. Laun now overtaken by Van Dam. Adamski comfortably sitting in third place. The 2 Kazakh, Nikisha and Kazgali. In fourth and fifth, Quentin Ferkok. Currently sitting in sixth place. And at the back of the pack is Zdenek Shepal from the Czech Republic. Making his move on the inside is Laun. Laun now our new leader. Ahead of Van Dam. Adamski right behind him. Laun, Olympic champion in the relay at the last Winter Olympic Games in Beijing. Van Dam in second. Look out on the outside. Pavel Adamski making his move from third. Will he get to second place? Neck and neck with Van Dam, and on the inside, that's enabling the Kazakh Kazgali to overtake both of them and move right behind Maxim Laun, who is well in the lead with 4 to go. Nothing's played out yet. All 7 skaters still in contention. It's anyone's game here at the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. What an inside pass made by Kazgali. Unfortunately, we've lost 2 skaters, including Maxim Laun, and we've heard the whistle. We had to stop the race from decision from the referee, likely a safety issue. We have here also the 2 yellow boxes, which means that some of the actions will be under review. Maxim Laun now getting back on his feet. Michel Dumont and the other assistant referee on ice, Lee Yusuk, making sure that Laun is fine. Quentin Ferkok having his blades being checked. I'm going to be allowed a few minutes, not only to make sure that the ice and mats are in proper conditions to resume the racing, but also they will probably look at the action on the video replay and see if 1 or 2 of the skaters might not be allowed to come back if there were to be a penalty on that action. Races can be stopped at any time by the chief referee in short track speed skating, especially if there's any safety considerations. Looks like that we had 2 skaters that went down and that the mats went quite wide, so that might have been the reason behind the decision from the chief referee, Michel Dumont. That allows the skater to have a few moments to recover. They were not necessarily in their final push, but still, they probably have left out a bit of energy. Here, the action on the pass made by Kazgali, and then the fall right after involving Laun and also Ferkok, both going quite hard in the boards, and we see how much the mats moved, which probably explained why the race was stopped and called back. So once they're in that break, obviously skaters allowed to sit on the mats, allowed to have their blades either repaired or even change, as we see here, the French coach bringing a new blade for his skater, Quentin Ferkok. That's allowed. Kind of a short track pit stop version. Skaters trying to stay warm, of course. Fairly cold conditions at the Mokdong ice rink. As we can tell, looking at the coaches in the coaches box. Again, the action here, some contact between the Kazakh and the Canadian. The Frenchman losing his step and bringing down with him the Canadian. The action is currently under review, as we saw earlier, 2 boxes. And we'll be resuming the racing. Let's see if all the skaters will be brought back to the line and it was truly just a stop for safety reason, or a penalty was also awarded in the action. And at that point, the skater penalized would not be allowed to come back at the starting line. We had 7 skaters initially. Let's count them. Looks like they're all back at the starting line. It was really a safety stop. And we're off, and certainly with more than half of the race before the stop. Clearly, skaters have not as much energy as they had a few minutes ago, so we can expect a fairly slow start. We're happy to see all 7 skaters back on track. Quentin Fercoq currently in the lead. Again, I remind you, the skaters in this race: Denis Nikisha, number 11 from Kazakhstan; Vare van Dam, number 75 from Belgium; Nurtilek Kazgali, number 40 from Kazakhstan; the Canadian, number 7, Maxime Laoun; from Poland, number 154, Pavel Adamski; from France, number 30, Quentin Fercoq; and number 105 from the Czech Republic, Zdenek Shepal. Laoun now back at the top. Skated from the top most of first race. Now as we resume the racing, he's back in the lead. The Polish Adamski now making his way to the top. Slower pace than earlier. We're still at the 12-13 seconds per lap. Early in the race, Adamski, Laoun, Van Dam, Fercoq in the first 4 positions. Van Dam now in the lead. Clean pass on the inside. Still early as we resume the racing. This heat number 2. Laoun comfortably behind Van Dam. Look out on the outside. Kazgali, Nurtilek Kazgali, coming to the first place. Laoun now coming back on the inside, taking the first position he had for a few laps earlier on. Van Dam right behind him. Kazgali in third. Look out for the Frenchman, Quentin Fercoq in fourth. In fifth is Pavel Adamski. Again, all skaters still in contention in this heat number 2. Look out for Fercoq, who goes all out from the outside, and there on the inside on Laoun. What a clean pass by the Frenchman. Laoun right behind him. Looks like the Canadian and the Frenchman will be fighting for the win, but watch out for Denis Nikisha, the speedster from Kazakhstan, with a lot of finishing speed. Right inside. What a move by Laoun. Some contact likely with Fercoq, and can the Kazakh fight for the win till the end? They're diving to the line. What a finish between Laoun, Nikisha, and Kazgali. Unofficial results. We'll have to not only go to the photo finish on that one, but we have 1 yellow box left, likely on the pass between Laoun and Fercoq. Late in the race, the first 2 actions were cleared with the green boxes. Tap at the back of Maxime Laoun by Vare van Dam. We saw the Kazakh, Nikisha and Kazgali with a lot of finishing speed. Was it enough to make it to the big show? As I said, only the first place skater from each race qualify for the semifinal. And we'll have the final results coming up shortly from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. Strategic start of this race, given that it had been called back earlier on, but still led to a lot of action late in the race. At that time, Laoun and Fercoq, clean pass made by the Frenchman over Laoun that went for it late in the race. We see here the two Kazakh right behind Laun late in the race. But again, let's see for the official results. Under review, the action between Canada and France. Could it be a penalty or could it be a shared responsibility? We know that in short track, if two skaters are responsible for a certain action, there could be a shared responsibility decision made by the chief referee. That could be the case here. Let's wait and see. We have the official referee video. Some contact between Fercoq and Laun. We see Michel Dumont in the screen here as the chief referee. And we'll shortly have the final decision. We see the ice resurfacing machine getting ready for action. We'll have the break coming up shortly. And then racing will resume with the two last races of the session. The mixed team relay 2,000 meter. They're going to be coming up shortly. We'll wait for a few minutes or a few seconds to get the final results before we go on a break. And we'll get to see who is the skater that will qualify for the main World Cup semifinal. I'm sure that some of the skaters, Laun and also the two Kazakh, looking closely for the final results. Going to the photo finish, but also going to the video replay. On the previous action, we see the referee near the main tablet and the main timing deck. And that probably means that we're seconds away from the announcement of the results. And here they are. Maxime Laun qualifies for the main World Cup competition. Time of 2:46.576. The two Kazakh, Nikisha and Kazgali, second and third. So no penalty awarded on that action, which led Laun to an official place to the main World Cup competition. So for now, we'll go on a short break. Racing will resume shortly with the mixed team relay. And we see here that it was actually a shared responsibility call in the previous race. So no penalty for shared responsibility between Maxime Laun and Quentin Fercoq. We saw the replay here. The decision from the chief referee, Michel Dumont, was that both skaters were responsible for the contact, which led to no penalty as per the rule of short track speed skating. So stay tuned. We'll be back soon with the two semifinals in the mixed team relay. We are back live from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul, Republic of Korea. Time now for the always exciting team mixed relay, where this the semi-final stage, 2 heats in this division. The first and second place teams from each race qualify for final A. The third and fourth place teams from each race qualify for final B. They will be raced later today in the main World Cup competition. This will be the last 2 races of the session, the morning sessions in South Korea. The skaters have stepped onto the ice, accompanied by 2 of the referees. We'll have 4 teams, so 16 skaters on the ice at the same time. We'll have in this first race the United States, the Republic of Korea, Poland, and Belgium. Team USA 4th in the World Cup ranking, thanks to a bronze medal last weekend in Beijing. The Koreans 5th in this year's World Cup ranking after the first 3 stops of the season, thanks to a silver medal in Montreal in the World Cup number 1. Michel Dumont giving his instructions to the 4 skaters on the starting line.
Go to the start.
And we're off for this heat number 1. The Americans, the Koreans, Polish, and Belgium. Each of the 4 skaters go for 2.5 laps for the first time around, and the second time they come on the ice will be for a 2-lapper. It's women, men, 2.5 laps at the beginning. Skating for the USA, Andrew Hiao, Marcus Howard, Tristan Santos Griswold, the star of the last weekend's competition for the women's. Corinne Stoddart. They both were on the podium for the Americans last weekend. Skating for the Koreans, Kim Gilly, Park Ji-hon, Xiao Yira, and Shim Suk-hee. For Poland, Lukasz Kaczynski, Mikol Masur, Mikhail Nowinski, and Kamila Stormovska. And for Belgium, Tineke Demdolk, Anna Desmet, Stein Desmet, and Adrian de Vactere. Fast pace set early on by the American. Clean racing for now. The Koreans in second place, really fast pace in the 8 seconds. Obviously faster than what we had in the 1,000 meter and 1,500 meter earlier in the session. And one inside pass made by the Koreans. We've lost the Dutch, the Belgium. Unfortunately for them, looks like Adrian de Vector fell in the right turn. Track stewards will have to be careful not to get in the way of the teams and not to impede the leading teams, the Koreans, the Americans, the Polish. All 3 teams still in contention. The women's are back on the track for 2 laps. Skating for Team Korea is Shim Suk-hee, the 2014 world champion. The Americans right behind. Can the Polish come back in the main 2 positions? Only the top 2 teams can make it to the A final. Relay push, clean exchange made by the Koreans, the American. Kristen Santos Griswold skating for the USA. Always a strong finishing kick, and by the inside. What an inside pass made by Santos Griswold, overtaking the Koreans and trying to create a gap on the Polish, who lost their step late in the corner. So the Americans and the Koreans about 10 meters ahead of the Polish. The top 2 teams will wind up in the A final. We have 3 laps remaining. We heard the gunshot, which tells us that we have 3 laps to go. 1 last exchange allowed, and clean exchange by the top 2 teams, the Koreans and the Americans. We hear the bell giving us the 1-lap mark. The Republic of Korea, the United States first and second. The Americans bronze medalist last weekend. The Koreans silver medalist early in the season. And they will both be accessing to the A final, obviously pending the final results and decision. Some technical difficulty for now. Hopefully we'll get back to the main action soon. But as I said earlier, unofficial results. The Republic of Korea and the USA likely be qualified for the A final. This was the first of 2 heats in the mixed team relay 2,000 meter. Remind you that we're live from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul, Republic of Korea. The ISU World Championship took place in Seoul last March. This is the 4th stop of the 2023-2024 season. The World Cup circuit began the season on a high note in Montreal at the Maurice Richard Arena earlier in the month of October for World Cup 1 and 2. The circuit moved to Asia last weekend in Beijing for World Cup number 3, this weekend in Seoul for World Cup number 4, and we'll all be back in February for World Cup 5 and 6, Dresden, Germany, and Gdansk, Poland. In the meantime, we have access to the final results for this heat number 1. The Republic of Korea first, the time of 240.321, and the United States second, 240.575. So both the Koreans and the Americans qualified for the A final of the mixed team relay. Poland and Belgium will be skating the B final later today. And up next will be heat number 2 in the mixed team relay. Hopefully we'll get to see the live action shortly. The teams have been brought to the line. In this second heat, we'll have the Netherlands, Japan, Italy, and Germany.
Go to the start.
And we're off in this heat number 2 of the mixed team relay. Might have some technical difficulties here, but as I said earlier, the Netherlands, Japan, Italy, and Germany skating for the Dutch Turnbull, Selma Poutsma, Jans van Vout, and Chandra Pelzeboer. For the Japanese, Matsusu Shuta, Sasaki Shomu, Takahashi Hana, and Watanabe Aoi. For the Italian, Chiara Betti, Toma Nadalini, Ariana Sigel, and Pietro Sigel. And for Germany, Robin Bandig, Lisa Eckstein, Myungbi Jong, and Clemens Proper. So we still have a bit of a view of the action from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. We get to see at least half of the action. The Italians currently in second position. Looks like we have a battle for third and fourth place. The Dutch setting quite a pace early on. The Italians right behind him. Again, only the top 2 teams can make it to the A final. Apologies for some of the issues with the footage live from Seoul. At least in the meantime, we get to see a bit of the action here and there. No big changes in position. The Dutch and the Italians quite comfortable in the leading positions. I remind you that the teams are composed of 2 men and 2 women. They all skate 2.5 laps the first time around, and they come back with 2 laps each near the end. We see also the referees, Michel Dumont at center ice looking at the action with Dan Fiorenza Sr. Looks like these two have a better view than we have here from the broadcast booth. But again, no change in position from what I can tell. The Dutch, the Italian in second place, the German in third, or the German might be in fourth and Japanese in third. I will have to double check that. Again, when we have 3 laps remaining, we'll hear a gunshot alerting the athletes that they have one last chance to give a relay before the 2-lap mark. And here it is, the gunshot. 3 laps remaining, the Dutch in the lead, the Italians in second, a sizable lead on the Japanese and the German. Quite an easy race, almost a walk in the park for the Italians and the Dutch. We hear the bell indicating that we have 1 lap to go in the final race of this morning session live from the Mokdong Ice Rink in Seoul. And I'd like to believe that the Dutch and the Italians have crossed the finish line in the first two positions. Let's wait and see for the final results. Michel Dumont again whistled the end of the race, and that's actually the end of the morning session in Seoul. We'll stay live for a few more minutes just to make sure we have the final results. Thanks for your patience if you're still with us with some of the technical issues in the broadcast, but we had quite a good session from Seoul, the repechage rounds in the 1,000 meter and also the 1,500 meter. And we see here the replay. And indeed, the Dutch crossed the finish line in first positions. We're back on the main broadcast. And here they are, the final results. The Netherlands and the Italians qualified for the A final. They will be joining the Koreans in the United States. The Dutch, second in the World Cup ranking, winner of the gold medal last weekend in Beijing, can and will be fighting for the gold this time around again here in Seoul. And we have the teams Korea, United States, Netherlands, and Italy will be fighting for gold later today at the Mokdong Ice Rink. So that concludes the ISU World Cup short track session. We hope you have enjoyed this broadcast. I'm Daniel Lemay. Stay tuned for the main World Cup session in a few hours.